Hey YouTube, coming at you with a viewer submitted team from Iceberg who mentioned that they are using Combusken. And in the write up, they say 9 out of 10 wins using the middle chicken. I have used it in the past because people don't know it has Rock Slide, but this dude has been killing it this season with the double buffed. It's ranked 516 right now, but I'd say it's clearly in the top 100, and I plan on using it even at higher elos. Your videos are the best. Appreciate it. I learned from watching your channel. Thanks. Okay, so I did look that up because I'm like, okay, why? First of all, my first thought was like, why not Blaziken? And Blaziken is actually ranked lower right now. Blaziken's ranked 594 and Combusken is ranked 518. So I'm like, okay, let's check out. It's a firefighting. Its stats are obviously, as you expect, not great. 130 attack, so it's got a pretty high attack, but not like a 140 sort of glass cannon. But the defense is 100, which is very low, and then stamina 131 is actually not bad, but for 1723 overall. Now, it did get double buffed. Ember got buffed, and Rock Slide got buffed. So you have these Embers, which are now just pretty fast charging, and you have moves that are coming at 10 and 12 here, and Flame Charge boosts your attack. My only concern with this Pokemon, and I have no idea how it plays, because it is spamming, but the Rock Slide is 75 non-stab and Flame Charge is 78 with same type attack bonus. So my question then becomes, can you even take out Pokemon with 2 moves? Is the attack high enough that you can actually just go like double Rock Slide or double Flame Charge and take stuff out? Because if the answer is no, your defense is not good enough and this thing is useless, and that's why it's ranked so low. But, you know, in a hypothetical, if you can potentially take out Pokemon in two moves, even if you have to shield, it's not bad. You have 14 and 28 in the one shield scenario. I'm guessing with the shield advantage. 29 and 13 with a 630 average in the 1v2. In the 0 versus 1. And in the 1v2, you have a 32 and 10 with a 632. So, maybe shield advantage. You have gastrodon toxapex. The only other thing I noticed with the team is you were double weak to ground, right? Combusken's weak to ground because it's fire, and toxapex is going to have a real tough time with ground that you almost need. Like a gastrodon on the lead would be pretty tough. Your best answer is a mirror match at best. So let's take a look at the battles and see how this thing plays out. Pangoro. So the Embers are kind of fast, but so is their move. So trying to catch on toxapex. They are throwing. It's probably just a Night Slash, which is fine. You could take a few of these. They eventually get into Empoleon. Yeah, so Toxapex, if you want to talk about a Pokemon who has absolutely nosedived in the rankings, Toxapex is the one. What was a very, not amazing Pokemon, but strong Pokemon for a while, now with way more steals in Corviknight and Empoleon. Even Dedenne as a fairy is electric. And just Mud Slap users galore, Toxapex just becomes like a kind of useless Pokemon. Jumping back right into the matchup against Empoleon here. Flame Charge and Ember are neutral, so grab one shield. These Embers will start chipping a little more. You're going to have to shield everything because the Hydro will one-shot you. And they finally come Jellicent. So this is tough. Timing's a little off there. Let's see how much this Rock Slide. Boosted Rock Slide, how much does it do? Okay. Being able to do 50, I know it was a boosted Rock Slide, but to be able to do 50% on a Jellicent is huge. And again, you need to throw one Ember there, so it's a 2 versus 3 turn fast move. Because you essentially just give them a full free Hex, and now they're going to take you out. So this will 100% one shot. Gastrodon's going to come in and just kind of slap down. You can't throw any move. Body Slam is resisted. They're going to get you move. Nice catch. Nice catch right on the 5 there. Eating the Shadow Ball on Toxapex. Now getting to the Earth Power here. Running Earth Power instead of Water Pulse. I like Water Pulse better. I do find it is significantly better in the meta. So that Earth Power lands. Does take them out. Empoleon comes in. You can take a Hydro from here. That's fine. We take this move. You'll live. Does take you low, but you'll live. And then all you need is a Body Slam to take out what is left of the Jellicent here. So, did Combusken win this matchup? Yeah, Gastrodon did what Gastrodon does and sweep in the ending. But, that Rock Slide chipped. Okay, this is an Electrode which is half fire, so we love it. Out comes a Mandibuzz, and so what are we doing here? Okay, you overfarmed way too much for starters. You had that Rock Slide, which you almost looked like you were trying to throw Flame Charge here. You then let a full fast move go through. So your fast work timing and everything definitely needs some work. Here comes a Rock Slide. I assume they won't know you have a Rock Slide and it's a boosted one. Yeah, not enough to take out. They will get to a move. Can you live in Aerial Ace? I don't know. You're not going to stick around to find out. I mean, you're going to shield, so you don't have to find out. So just burnt both shields. Have energy. Out comes the Electrode. Problem is, they could just shield and wall charge you, and you'll be taken out here. This thing also, it may have Swift, but it also does have access to Energy Ball, which will one-shot too. Luckily, they just are Wild Charge, so maybe they're running Wild Charge Swift. They do eventually make a catch on Drifblim, so nice catch, and this is where not having Water Pulse is really going to suck. And yeah, not only not having Water Pulse, having a Toxapex, which can only go Brine too, is in a pretty tough situation. I would try and bank that move. Yeah, I would have tried to like maybe bank that Earth Power. Your attack is lowered, and this is all resisted. I probably would have tried to bank it, and it would have been tough and got out in that matchup. Where do you come here? Toxapex. Yeah, it has energy. Force that energy on a Pokemon that can take it. Instant swap, or what are we going to do here? Electro comes in. It's going to Wild Charge you. You are going to have to instant swap Ember down. Hope they... I assume they're going to shield this up because they probably know that Toxapex doesn't really have much to throw at you. And just trying to boost your attack. So I think the play there may be the right one, because essentially they were going to shield up anything. Why are we not throwing the Rock Slide, man? Are they not down shields and Drifblim's a flyer? Take it out anyways with the Flame Charge. So again, I guess next time Rock Slide, it's quicker and it's super effective. But it looks like this thing is attack heavy enough to really put some pressure on some health here or / shields. Catching on the Toxapex. Acid is resisted and they're staying in, so they may get a second Rock Tomb off. You have to let this go. You can't go down your attack ×2. First of all, you need to save shield for Combusken. That's a must. That's a must. Second, you can't go down your attack by 2 when you don't even know what's in the back. So yeah, correct play, just let it go. You're going to get slapped down. That's fine. Not much you can do about that. Okay, we get to move. That's nice. Problem is, you don't really want to come in against a Mud Slap user here with your Combusken, so you have to come in with your Gastrodon. Going to shield up anyways. It is an Earth Power. That was quick, so you can just let this Body Slam go. And maybe now get the farm down. When they jump their energy there, I think you should have just committed to the farm down. Credilli comes back in. You're down a shield. They know that this is just a Body Slam. I mean, it's in the 1800 range, so they may shield anyways, but this is an easy non-shield. Yeah. And now just going Rock Slide. If anything, you have to like boost your attack here because this thing's just going to shield and Rock Tomb its way through this matchup, knowing that you have a Gastrodon in the back. They eventually get into Clodsire. I mean, hope your shields are like your timer's desynced enough that you can like get in here. But looks like they're gonna get to a move off here, take you out. Yeah, I don't see how you come back from this one. Earthquake you out. Mud Slaps will chip, but even so, not enough to take you out. Take them out, and they're gonna get to a move. And it is just a resisted Stone Edge, but it does not matter. Credilli has shields. Body Slam is... They may shield just to get the move off anyways, but Body Slam's not going to cut it here. It's going to do... Body Slam's normal is resisted on Rock here. Hoping it was enough to Mud Slap down, but it is not. So we'll go down here. Okay, Combusken into Blastoise. Um, who's your safe swap? So Toxapex looks like the safe swap. You know, pretty risky. It just can absolutely get destroyed by a lot of these ground Pokemon or steel Pokemon. It's going to have a problem with a lot of things. So Blastoise does Skull Bash. Um, you know, it may assume you're going Sludge Wave and just Shield. Yeah, that's not surprising because considering they can get off a second Skull Bash and put some pressure on you. And knowing that they're going to get to a second Skull Bash, decide it's worth it just for the chip of Brine, although that did not do much. Boosted Skull Bash. I mean, boosted defense because of Skull Bash, and then just a very bulky Pokemon. Rollout is resisted. Throwing it just as they're getting to the third Skull Bash. They do shield, which is kind of interesting. I mean, you can assume it's a Skull Bash and shield back. And coming Combusken, trying to resisted Ember down and do get it. And now we're loaded with energy for an Azumarill. So once again, you know, you could chip here. I would start throwing the Rock Slides. And once again, going for, I think you just got to chip them with the Rock Slide, man. We know that you've already boosted once. We know that the Rock Slides can chip a good amount. My thing is, I don't know if this takes out, but 2 Rock Slides would have taken out. So 1 HP away from being taken out. It is a Wiggly in the back, and with energy and Earth Power, this should be enough to take it pretty low. Let's see if this is an Icy Wind or Swift. It is just a Swift, so that is pretty good that it won't lower your attack. This will be a hard-hitting move. Put them pretty low, and then you should be able to Mud Slap down before they get to a next move. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a few more battles, and we'll showcase them. But nah, man, this is not a top 100 Pokemon. For Alligator, like, chip it, please chip it. Okay, I guess that's a good catch. I'm actually just curious, like, what we have not seen yet is a Rock Slide that has not been boosted. Your go-to seems to be just a Flame Charge away through the majority of these matchups, even when you shouldn't. I want to see what a Rock Slide does when it doesn't have that boosted Flame Charge attached to it. Because I just want to see what a Rock Slide does in neutral situations based on your attack stats. Coming in with Superior, opting to shield up a Frenzy Plant. Sludge Wave is super effective, and this will probably one-shot. Yeah, so do one-shot. They get into Talonflame. This is one. I like how in your intro, you're like, I love Rock Slide because they don't know you have it. And then you just throw a Flame Charge into a Talonflame. And then they do shield. Holy smokes. Opting to shield. I don't know how much energy this thing has. I know you only have Earth Power on the Gastrodon, but I thought you would have maybe tried to run with Gastrodon here. What are you going to do? Catch here? Outpace and CMP? Okay. I think they overfarmed there. I think... How many Incinerates were they at? I feel like they could have thrown and taken you out as opposed to taking this Rock Slide, because you've already shown Rock Slide. They took a Flame Charge. They shielded up a Rock Slide. They definitely had energy. Okay. If it's Fury Cutter, it is very resisted. Ooh, it's Wing Attack. You might want to get out. Yeah. Although, gosh, oh, Jesus. Get out where is the question. Holy smokes, this team has no safety anywhere. And Met and this Gligar, Wing Attack Gligar, is actually causing you quite a lot of problems here. Poison resisted, Mudslap resisted, doing super effective against your fighter. Gastrodon just can't chip. The Body Slam is buffed this season. Still a garbage move, but, you know, it's buffed. And even though Mudslap's resisted here, it's still chipping. Opting to shield up a dig and then going back in. Met with a Sand Slash. Not an A Sand Slash, just a regular Sand Slash, which seems to have Mud Shot. So I'm guessing it's going to get to a move here. They overfarm, I think, because you are just getting to your second Flame Charge. They do shield. They're not a move. I think you damage is done. You let this go. But man, you don't have anywhere to go to. Yeah, shielding because at best you have Gastrodon. But yeah, they've got to be close to 2 moves. Like, even if you don't know what the moves are, Night Slash is resisted, so you may be able to take this and Gligar comes back in and get a move off. If you don't know what the moves are, it's fine. But you got to have like a... I always talk about an internal clock. And an internal clock is basically like, hey, I threw 2 Flame Charges, which is 24 turns worth of moves. Like, statistically, they're got to be pretty damn close to 2 moves as well. So you don't need to know 100% what your opponent has. And why are we throwing the worst move in the game? One of the worst moves in the game in Brine, instead of the Sludge Wave to like one shot here. Sludge Wave plus Mud Slaps would have easily taken this out. Second Brine doesn't even take it out. You'll eventually have to Mud Slap down, but you could have just gone Sludge Wave and then a very quick Mud Slap down. They get to the Brutal Swing. Do slap down here. And it will slap down in the ending. Oh yeah, Psywave is super effective because you are half fighting. Oh, you're actually double weak to Psywave because toxapex is as well. There's not, again, I don't really care about that. Okay, there's the first one. First one not boosted. I mean, it is super effective. So we can only take so much of it into consideration there. Lapras is bulky. It's non-stab, so I'm glad it does over 50%, but still, it is super effective. Landing the Sludge Wave is super important. There. Okay. I think there's some battles left, but it's like 5 minutes of battles, but I've got just some thoughts on the team. I got some thoughts on the Pokemon. I've got some thoughts on your playing. So I'm going to go over those now. Okay. I don't like the team, obviously. First of all, I just don't like your double weak to ground. I don't think you have a good safe swap on this team. Although there's not a lot of grass in this meta. If you ever get hit with the grass as Gastrodon as a safe swap, you're screwed. And Toxapex has, like I mentioned at the beginning, way too many weaknesses in this meta to do that. I understand that the Pokemon, in theory, they, you're a fighter, so you got a poison that can help you with like fairies. Gastrodon's just pretty safe and can deal with just most things. Gastrodon's only weak to grass, and Combusken has a fire will deal with that. So I understand that sort of concept there. And both Gastrodon and Toxapex have some okay bulk in the back here. The problem is you cannot come in with you also cannot come in with the Toxapex immediately into a Azumarill. They've got to have an answer. They don't have an amazing answer for poison, so this is not bad. But yeah, it's tough to come up with an immediate answer. This Pokemon, there's no way this Pokemon is top 100, man. I don't think you understand how many strong Pokemon there are in the meta, and this is not one of them. Understand how Ember is buffed. I understand how Rock Slide's buffed. Understand that it seems if you can just boost your attack with Flame Charge, Rock Slide does well over 50% to like most Pokemon, even if they're like somewhat bulky. The problem is there's so many Pokemon in this meta that you can essentially just take out with 2 moves. Like there's so many Pokemon in this meta that even if those are low ranked have moves that do well over 50%. So let me just open up PvPoke and give you examples of like, let me just go down to like the 100 range and stuff. So even at 100, like Kanto Ninetales is at 99 right now. Like one overheat's gonna one shot pretty much everything. You have Shadow for Alligator at 102, right? 2 Hydros are gonna one shot everything, and they come at speeds of 10. What else we got down here? Dugong. Dugong's more defensive heavy, but even so, you're only looking at like 3 there. But it has a same amount of bulk. What I'm finding with this Pokemon is it doesn't have you like need shields for it because its defense is so low. While at the same time, it doesn't have that like 140 attack to justify its low defense. Your stamina is okay, so it's not the worst case scenario from that point. But for me, it just does not seem to pack the punch it needs to be able to like take out most things in 2 moves while still taking so much damage. So I think like top 100 Pokemon, no, I think there's Talonflame, Turtonator, Ninetales, um, Charizard, maybe even Magikarp and Skeldurge and Typhlosion that I would all play as a fire before this Pokemon. And then there's hundreds of other Pokemon that I would play before this Pokemon. I like the idea though. And it's not to say that you can't use Pokemon in the 100, 200, 300 range. In fact, if you look at, I just kind of randomly scroll down, 175 is Toxapex. I don't think Toxapex has any play right now in this meta, just not the way that the meta is with all the Mud Slap users and the steals. So I like, that's not bad. But, Greninja is 177. There's a place for Greninja in this meta. This is what I like about Greninja compared to this Pokemon. And this is why I don't agree that this Pokemon's a top 100. I would put, you have Greninja at 177, you have this Pokemon at like 500 something. I would put Greninja in the top 100 because it has attack of like one, it's glassy, which Combusken has more stamina, so it's not like a 1-for-1 here, but Combusken has like 15 more stamina, same defense, but 10 less on the attack. We're looking at almost 140 on Greninja. Meanwhile, Greninja's Hydro Cannons do 100 damage compared to like the 75 that you're doing with these Flame Charge and Rock Slides, while the Water Shuriken is charging faster, so the Hydros are coming out 9 versus 10 versus 12 here. So if you're going to use like kind of like an off-pick Pokemon like this that you think has some play in the meta, I think there's just way more Pokemon that have play outside the top 100 that do better what am I trying to say here? That are better at doing what you think your Pokemon is doing. Abomasnow is sitting here at 180 and 184 as the shadow. Venusaur is sitting at 190. Drifblim is sitting at 191. These are all Pokemon that I think I would be using well outside the top 100. Shadow Charizard's at 205. Actually, that's with Ember. Maybe the Dragon Breath is higher. Golisopod's at 206. These Pokemon, I think, play the same bill of not defensive heavy, more attack heavy, even maybe same attack heavy, with cover moves that just spam at a quicker rate. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. In terms of your play, fast move timing was off a bit. I think your team is limited that some of the moves you made, you can never do. I mean, maybe most people aren't building for Toxapex right now, but if you have an Azumarill lead and you came into a Toxapex, 2+ seasons ago, you would have 2 Mudslap users coming at you immediately. So risky on some of the plays there. I think honestly, Gastrodon swept a lot of teams here and just shows, if anything, just shows this the more of the strength of Gastrodon than it already is. Anyways, thanks for the submission though. Appreciate it. And thanks for being a long-time subscriber. And with that, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.